Victimology, Theories and Applications, Chapter 9, Intimate Partner Violence. Case example, Chris Brown pleads guilty to assault against Rihanna, sentenced to 5 years probation, 6 months community service, 5 years restraining order to stay at least 10 yards away from Rihanna. This is a case example. Intimate partner violence, IPV, is any behavior within an intimate relationship that causes physical, psychological, or sexual harm. It includes physical aggression, psychological abuse, forced sexual intercourse, isolating a person from family and friends, monitoring a person's movements, restricting access to information or assistance. Scope of the problem. Intimate partner violence accounted for 22% of violent crimes against women and 4% of violent crimes against men between 2001 and 2005 in the United States. Children were residents of the households that experienced intimate partner violence in 38% of incidents involving female victims and 21% of incidents involving male victims in the United States. 39% of women and 32% of men who were victims of IPV in Canada indicated they were assaulted after the relationship ended. Of these, 24% indicated the violence became worse, and 39% indicated the violence began after separation. Ex-marital partners are responsible for 38% of all homicides against women and 2% of all homicides against men in Canada. In the United States, females made up 70% of victims killed by an intimate partner in 2007. Legal responses to intimate partner violence. Some legal attempts to deal with IPV: help, hindrance, or re-victimization, mandatory arrest and charging of perpetrators of IPV, protection orders, restraining orders to increase the safety of IPV victims, ban on gun ownership for perpetrators of IPV, mandatory reporting to child welfare when children are exposed to IPV. Effects of intimate partner violence on victims. Battered women syndrome. The cycle of violence includes building tension, battering, loving, attrition. Learned helplessness due to totalitarian control, acceptance of abuse as a way of life, and an inability to see a way to end the abuse. Post-traumatic stress, re-experiencing through dreams and flashbacks, numbing of responsiveness, and persistent anxiety and arousal. Intimate partner violence in same-sex couples. IPV occurs in 21% to 50% of male same-sex couples, higher in lesbian couples. Social factors and isolation may make disclosure and help-seeking more difficult. Legal barriers may exist, such as exclusion of same-sex partners from protection orders. Police may be less likely to intervene and charge. Child witnesses of intimate partner violence. IPV is present in 26 to 73% of cases referred to child protective agencies. Children exposed to IPV demonstrate internalizing behaviors, including depression, anxiety, and social withdrawal, and increased externalizing behaviors, including hyperactivity and aggression. They also have social integration problems, lower self-esteem, and lower school performance. Why battered women stay? This is taken from Table 9.3 available in your textbook, and it includes individual factors, post-traumatic stress, fear, love and commitment, resilience, and ability to self-protect. Family and cultural factors bring shame on the family, religious and cultural beliefs about the family, concern for children, beliefs that abuse is normal. Community services, inadequate social housing, limited education, restraining, or employment opportunities, insufficient counseling or shelter resources. Social policies, immigration policies that do not allow sponsored individuals to leave their sponsors, social welfare and housing policies that disadvantage single mothers, and mandatory reporting to child welfare of children witnessing abuse. Continuum of intimate violence. This illustration shows the continuum from short-term to intermediate to long-term, intermittent to chronic and predictable to homicidal. Table 9.4 also illustrates the continuum of intimate violence and is taken from your textbook. It shows level 1, short-term, less than a year, 1 to 3 incidents, including pushing, shoving, and sometimes hitting. Victim leaves after first, second, or third incident, and a caring support system. Level 2, intermediate, several months to 2 years, 3 to 15 incidents, moderate to severe injuries, victim leaves due to bruises or injury, caring support system, parents, friends, and new partner. Level 3, intermittent, long-term committed relationship, children can be present, 4 to 30 incidents, severe and intense episodes with no warning, long periods between episodes, stay until children grow up, stays for status or prestige, no other support system. Level 4, chronic and predictable, long-term relationships, may be religious or cultural elements to commitment, several hundred incidents, frequent, predictable pattern of abuse, often involving substances, abuse continues until abuser is arrested, dies, or is hospitalized, few financial resources. And level 5, variable but often long-term, numerous violent incidents, violent escalates to homicide and life-threatening injuries, victim has limited education or sources, and victim suffers from PTSD or complex PTSD. Table 9.5, Batterer typologies. Family only includes least marital violence, lowest level of psychological and sexual abuse, least violence outside the home, little or no psychopathology, violence resulting from a combination of stress and risk factors, including childhood witnessing of IPV and lack of relationship skills, lack of generalized hostility to women, and remorse leading to low risk of escalating violence. Dysphoric borderline type includes moderate to severe wife abuse, not much violence outside the home, most psychologically distressed, background of parental abuse and rejection, and most likely to show borderline characteristics, including emotional liability, intense unstable personal relationships, fear of rejection, and jealousy. Generally violent antisocial category, moderate to severe levels of marital violence, highest levels of extrafamilial violence, most likely to have antisocial personality disorder, including criminal behaviors, arrest, and substance abuse. High levels of family of origin violence associates with deviant peers. Marital violence is part of general use of aggression. Homicide in the context of intimate partner violence. Risk factors for homicide in IPV include abusers with a lower level of education, access to a firearm, use of illicit drugs by abuser separated from victim, highly controlling abuser, having a stepchild in the home, an abuser previously threatened victim with a weapon. Intervention programs in intimate partner violence. 3 main types of programs. 1. Programs for child witnesses of violence aimed at preventing future harm. 2. Program for victims of violence aimed at providing emergency assistance and increasing available choices. And 3. Programs for batterers aimed at stopping violent behavior. Interventions for victims of intimate partner violence. Ensuring safety includes shelters, hotlines, and relocation services. Ongoing counseling to address self-esteem, recognizing violence, changing attitudes and behaviors, reducing isolation, normalize the woman's experience, and provide options. Interventions for child witnesses. Crisis intervention includes enhance safety, normalize feelings, develop a plan for when children feel that either they or their parent are at risk. Ongoing group or individual treatment geared towards the child's developmental stage, and parent-child groups to enhance bonding and positive learning. Parenting. Interventions for offenders. Types: anger management, cognitive behavioral approaches, psychoeducational approaches, controversies, ignoring the context of abuse, and teaching more sophisticated modes of control. That ends this narrated version of this PowerPoint presentation.